Hi, I'm James from Risk Assessor, and today we're going to show you how to build a method statement template in the system. So first we're going to go over here to the left-hand side of the screen, and we're going to select method statement and template. Once we've done that, we'll see all the templates that we already have. Everyone gets a standard template, and you can either go in and edit that, or you can build as many as you like. We're going to start off by adding a new template. And what that's going to do is give us something to start off with. So it will give us the standard template just to give you a bit of a reference. But you know what? I'm not doing a construction job here. So we're going to get rid of a load of these. If we want to, we're just going to click this bin icon. Okay, we've got rid of all of those. Let's add a new field. We're going to add a new field in here. Let's put task name. We're going to have a text, date, yes, no toggle, or we can have multiple options. I want some text in this example, and then we add that, and that's fine. I'm going to put in here date of MS production. So method statement production, date, add field. I'm going to put in here supervisor. Oh. Option. An option, we're going to have Steve. That's more options. Then we're going to have, say, Bob. Well, then we can have Sheila. There are 3 supervisors. And, oh, silly me, forgot to put the name. Let's call this a standard operating procedure. Header that's going to be at the top of the document, and then this is the name that you'll see on your screen when you see the template where we started this tutorial there as well. So you can either call them the same thing, or some people sometimes says you want to call it something different. So you might have the header says standard operating procedure, but actually there's multiple different types of standard operating procedure. So you might want to put like type 1 standard operating procedure, type 2, type 3, type 4, for example. And we're going to click submit and move on. So that's given us the set standard that a lot of people have. There are some things I want to keep here, and I'd advise you want to keep. PPE requirements, I'd probably keep that. And then hazardous substances, I definitely keep as well. But everything else, I don't really need because it's a bit construction biased. So let's get rid of those. Okay, I've got rid of most, but I've kept some. Special permits required, hazardous substances, emergency procedures and first aid, PPE requirements, environmental waste. But I want to add a new one. So I want to add in here sequence of work. So this is our actual step-by-step process. Then in here, what we're going to do is we're going to have some we're going to add some subheaders. So I want preparation. Oh God, I'm hyped today. Submit. I'm going to add another one. So I'm going to put task. And then I'm going to put task closing. Okay, so now I'm happy with those subheaders. We've got those 3 sections. I'm going to go ahead and go into this subheader, and I'm going to add a new statement. So this essentially is step 1. So I want to say turn on the machine. And then another statement, complete pre-start checklist. And you build that up and add in all your prep steps. And then once we're happy with that, we're going to rinse and repeat and do the same thing. Go into task, add in our steps for that. And we would put all our steps in to run that machine and do that task. And once we're happy with that, we'd come out, go into task closing, same again. We would build all the steps for task closing and keep going until we're happy with that. The idea is to build every step that you could possibly take. So, for example, if there's maybe one or two ways to do a task that's accepted within the organization, you put those two ways of running into the method statement. And then when you're building the actual final document, it's much quicker because you've got the choice of one or two and you're just selecting which one applies for that job. Once you're happy with that, that's your sequence of work. We're really happy with that. We like that. We've got our hazardous substances. If we want to tweak these, we can go into them, or we can add another icon in here if we want to. We can upload a photo and then give it a name, and then that will add another version of that. Once you're happy with that, click done. We can keep going and edit any of these that we want to. You can just click the edit button, change any of those, press update, get me out of the way. And then we're happy. So we've got to the end of the document, all of our tasks of work, but actually I don't want sequence of work sitting all the way down here. I'm going to move that up by pressing the arrow, and I want it up here, and I want permits down here, but I do want PPE requirements. You know what? I want that at the top, like that. And then hazardous substances, I like that there. Special permits, I'm going to put that above emergency procedures. Environmental waste, I'm going to put that above emergency procedures. Now I've got myself a nice document. And that is how you build your method statement templates.